When I reflect on my own strengths and needs as an educator for students with special needs, I would say um, my strengths are my propensity to care, my rapport with my students, and my openness to ask for help. So, caring about your students caring about your students is very important. I think it's a strength. It's not something I do purposely. I just actually do care. As an educator, if you care about your students, you're more likely to meet the needs of your students. So I would consider that a strength. If anything, I probably care too much because I take those issues home with me sometimes. Um, and then my second strength that I built good rapport with my students. I think that kind of stems from caring as well. But it is I would consider it a strength of mine. I engage in conversations with my students because I care. I care about how they're doing. I care that they're happy. I care if they had a good weekend. And those things really matter. And when you value your students and care about them and have that good rapport with them, and those relationships are built on trust and integrity um, and and that and they understand that I'm there to support them and that I care about their learning and their success in my classroom, it makes such a huge difference. The students are more engaged when I've got a good rapport with them, and they care about their learning, and with in regard to special education and meeting the needs of those exceptional learners. That good rapport allows me to have those open conversations with my students about whether or not I'm meeting their needs, how I can best help them, what do they need from me in order to best learn in my classroom. Those conversations are hard to have if you're not comfortable with the person you're talking to. So having a good rapport with my students it allows me to be able to meet the needs of those exceptional learners better. And then my third strength, asking for help. I am not afraid to say if I have done something wrong or if I truly have no idea what to do or how to deal with a particular situation. I am very open to turning to my colleagues or addressing something with the principal. If I need help, I'm going to ask for help. I'm not too proud to ask for help. I know that we're better together, and multiple brains are better than one, and I know that myself and all of my colleagues collectively, we have such an abundance of experience and knowledge that if we collaborate and talk about it and talk about our issues or situations, we can learn from one another. And so then asking for help really just means I have a wealth of knowledge to draw on, and I can better serve my students if I'm willing to ask for help. So I would consider that a strength. My needs as a special educator is I tend to, when I learn a new strategy, I tend to really overthink it and over exaggerate in my mind. I think the time that it takes to actually put these new strategies in place. So sometimes, not always, but sometimes it takes me a bit of time of like processing before I implement a new strategy. And then once I implement it, I realize that it wasn't so bad after all. Like, for example, with respect to universal design for learning. When I first learned about this concept, and I had like thought about, oh my God, applying the adaptations for some exceptional students and applying them for all, like, oh well, it will likely benefit more students and it will help reach more students, and just that whole concept seemed so overwhelming to me at first. But then once I actually did it and I realized, oh my gosh, this is extremely effective. And once I put some of the universal design for learning strategies in place in my day-to-day planning of my lessons, it actually made my life easier in the long run. It gave me less to think about repeatedly, the number of things I needed to think about in one moment. If I'm reaching all of my students by applying some of those adaptations for everybody, it actually ended up making my life easier. And then I feel good about my job because my students are benefiting, they're succeeding because of it, and I feel empowered because I learned a new strategy with respect to special education that has made me a more effective teacher. But definitely, I would say the fact that I overthink the implications of new strategies too much, and then I get a little overwhelmed, and it does take me some time to implement them sometimes. So that is definitely something I need to work on, with just diving right in and just trying something new the moment I learn it, and not like taking a week to let it sink in kind of thing. Okay, thank you.